Hello, welcome to this brief presentation on OSHA's frequently cited violation in the lockout tagout area. So as you know that lockout tagout, also known as the control of hazardous energy, is codified in 29 CFR 1910-147, and we are going to talk about areas where OSHA has written the most citations. A little bit about myself. My name is Sam Joshi. I am a certified safety professional and a professional engineer. This slide may look very familiar to many of you. As you know that every year OSHA, sometimes in April timeframe, I believe, comes out with this top 10 areas where OSHA has issued the most violations. And in 2019, number 4 was lockout tagout. And that is what we are going to discuss today. I believe about $9 million worth of fines that were issued in lockout tagout alone. So OSHA has actually issued the most citations under the lockout standards under these 5 categories. One is the equipment specific procedures. Another one is periodic inspections that needs to be done, along with the training requirement, and obviously that facilities must have a written lockout tagout procedures, or rather not procedures, program in place. And the last one, which you're saying, is application of lockout tagout. So even if everything is fine at the facility, if the employees are not actually applying the lockout tagout properly, then in itself it is something that OSHA has given citations about. Establishment of a lockout tagout program. So a lockout tagout program is required if employees service or maintains machines or equipment that can start up unexpectedly, or it can release stored energy. There are certain areas that must be addressed in the program. One of them is establishment of procedures for removing energy supply and applying the procedure to apply the lockout tagout devices. Also have to address the accumulated energy when appropriate. It must include training, and it must also include program review, so on a periodic basis. And there are some very general lockout tagout programs available on OSHA website, but these programs must be customized for each individual site. One of the standards that OSHA has cited the most in this program is the development of machine-specific procedures. These procedures cannot be general. They have to be specific, and they have to be equipment specific. And they have to be written for the control of potentially hazardous energy for that particular equipment. The energy control procedures must outline the scope, the purpose, how to shut down this equipment, how to isolate energy sources, and securing of the equipment, transfer of lockout tagout, the testing procedures of the equipment, making sure that there is no residual energy, and the roles and responsibilities of the employees that are involved. And obviously, there has to be a means to enforce these procedures. It is my experience that writing equipment-specific procedure takes the longest, and yes, it does take the longest. In addition to creating equipment-specific isolation procedures, what is important is on an annual basis, the authorized employee at the facility must conduct inspections of making sure that the ESIP, the equipment-specific isolation procedures, they are written correctly and that they work. So that is something that needs to be done on an annual basis, and making sure that all other employees who are following those procedures understand the specific elements of those procedures, and this all must be documented. OSHA has cited many a times under this standard proper training for lockout tagout to make sure that the energy control programs are understood by employees, and the training must be given to the authorized employees as well as affected employees. These are definitions of authorized and affected employees is very specific. But something I want you to take away from this presentation is that the training must not only be limited to people who are working, mechanics and maintenance folks that are working on the equipment, but rather to also affected employees who are operating this equipment. Last but not the least, OSHA has written citations for the proper implementation of the lockout tagout procedures. And as you know, because these procedures must address 6 steps, and which are essentially these are the 6 steps which I have outlined, which talk about, the equipment must be properly shut down before servicing. Once it is shut down, what is the process that must be used for shutting down? And then the isolation of the energy sources, the application of the lockout and tagout devices, and then you have to address how to control the residual energy, which may or may not be in during the servicing of the equipment. And then there should be methods to verify the energy controls that are implemented. So that constitutes essentially the overview of how the lockout tagout procedures are developed and implemented. Lockout tagout standard is much more detailed and nuanced, and but I wanted to give you an overview of to get a feel as to if you are ready for the OSHA inspections and what is OSHA looking for when they visit the site. So if you have any questions, by all means, give me a call. Once again, this is Sam Joshi. Thank you.